Well, I am back to. I guess so. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's still saying I don't have access to that. It said it sent me an email, but I
Maybe if I
didn't.
send it to you as a PDF.
It does it basically.
Okay, can you send my work
Which
email?
is not bad.
Oh. Yeah, that's the one, that Berlin. That's Alexa Gorlick.
Oh wait, hold on.
BerlinCT.com.
Here we go.
Oh, it just took a little while to get through. All right.
Okay.
How does it feel? 'Cause I won't see it.
Oh, it's really Sarah, because this was her thing.
Right.
Okay, so.
I'm not on video
That's
saying.
fine.
All right, we're all together, gentlemen.
I'm sorry. I
Calling
didn't
the
realize we were
meeting
ready.
to order.
My apologies.
So roll call, Lorraine Stubb, chair, person.
Roger Milford, alternate.
John Dyken, member. Herb Watson, vice chair.
Working, remember?
Karen Serkin, property owner, 1034 Worthington Ridge.
Can I just run through the other names?
Oh, you want to do it where you check them?
Yeah, William
Oh,
Sink, he's absent. Pamela Petheville and Amy Pressure, right? Okay, all set.
so the order on this,
You're seated on.
we always switch it so we do the minutes later, so the applicant. we got over there. But you're welcome to say the whole meeting if you want.
Okay.
Okay, so we have public hearing for certificate of appropriateness, HDC 2024-01A, request of Terrence Ayrton for a modification to a previously approved COA to add a covered front porch addition at 1034 Worthington Ridge. You have to read that.
No.
So, beautiful.
I'm Terrence Ayrton, and we recently added a front porch, covered front porch to 1034 Worthington Ridge. Currently, there is a steel painted blue front door, and like to add a glass covered storm screen door with white trim. And it's a glass door, but when you pull it down, there's a roller on top and the screen comes down. This is for to add better heating and air conditioning, energy efficiency, I guess I should say, and also to keep out insects as people are going in and out. I have a daughter who leaves the door open sometimes, things like that. But this is an afterthought and that's a picture of what it looks like now. Steel door. So the door would be, it's white, it's Anderson, and it's white metal around it, and that's why I want to put it there. At this time, we had intended to do a porch with a ramp, and we took the ramp off as my mother-in-law passed in construction. So now it's just more about family sitting outside, like more about covering the door for rain and weather and insects. That's how it goes up and down, the screen pulls down. As the flash goes down, the screen also goes down. And just a side note, the house was built, I think, the year 2000. So that right there is what it used to look like. We moved all of the landscaping, well, most of the landscaping forward and painted the house blue.
Any questions?
We have the same thing, both our front and back.
But over time, something happened with the screen inside. It kind of ripped out of the things. Now it kind of bunches up. I don't know. People looked into getting it repaired.
Pretty easy. Not to replace the screen all the time, but that's where we're at.
Do you know, is there any precedent for since something like this ever come before?
Yeah, the Sage House, that's 300-year plus house that's down here Peter Carter Road. They used to have a storm screen door, but it had this stagecoach kind of thing yelling across. But they finally replaced it with a very plain.
That's the stagecoach door, it's not original to the house. So there's no particular precedent that as a commission we should be worried about
You know,
where.
we've never had one that I could think of that we allow.
It doesn't add to the look of the historic house, but.
I think this, you'll probably, because all the trim is white here. And it's not gonna be sticking out. And then you've got the porch and everything too, which is gonna make it less. Yeah. Does somebody want to make a motion to close?
Well, I make a motion to close the public hearing on application HTC 2024-01.a.
Second?
I see.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you see two?
Right, that's it.
Second.
Aye.
So now we have to deliberate.
Great.
We close the public hearing.
Oh.
This is where I leave.
No.
Oh, no.
I think we just did.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah. Well, I made the motion to close the public hearing.
Yeah, okay.
I make a motion to approve application HTC 2020,
That's what we need.
HTC 2024-01.a.
And I'll second that as well.
Okay. I was in favor.
Aye.
Process, you know.
Don, Bird, John, Lorraine, Alexa, Sandra, Nigel. See you again.
Is that a warning?
Swimming pool is next, but that'll be in the
Do you have
back.
room for a swim? I didn't know there was that much room there.
It's not gonna be a huge pool by now, but
Oh,
yeah, but we'll be back.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Take care.
to one place. You know, I just drive by your house and it's really nice.
We're
But,
doing ground
yeah, you should
cover
walk.
on the state pathway where I work. We're doing ground cover like flowers and things that grow in the, so it's gonna be like, things are gonna grow in it, sort of.
Yeah, you have the steps done?
They're being covered and things like that. We did the slate, so.
Thank you.
Thank
Good night.
you.
Practice, because we don't need that. It's okay. You get through, we help each
We
other,
get-
right?
that's right.
We go the long way. So,
That's right.
um, approving minutes. So we have the minutes from the March meeting. Did everyone have a chance to look at them?
I noticed Andrea Miller, the name is spelled. It says Miller's. Should be Miller.
Where's the city?
Every time they mention her name.
Okay.
One question that I did have, I was speaking with Alexa about, is we made a motion at the last meeting to postpone approval of minutes to the next meeting. I don't know what minutes we took up at the March 4th meeting, so I don't know if it's something we should look into a little bit more. I know Alexa, you weren't here at the time.
Yeah, I can tomorrow though. I'm sure if I go through the recording
There must
and
be
minutes,
some.
and maybe Maureen happens to remember. I could try to find out tomorrow.
Okay. Other than that, I have no comments. So I make a motion to approve the minutes of the March 4th, 2024 meeting, subject to the corrections I noted.
Just a second. Apologize, but I did not have a chance. That's good.
2 months ago. Just
So John made a motion
to
to,
approve, subject to the corrections I noted.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in approving?
Aye.
Aye.
Um,
Those are 2 months.
I just had a couple of things to bring up, just little things. Susan Skeen contacted me. On their house, I don't know who. Here when this happened, but when they had their roof redone, they had a metal roof and they replaced it, this was like years ago, with a standing seam roof, metal roof. And in the course of doing that, they took off the gutters that were there, because the roof was saying we really don't need them. But now she and Jeff had realized they probably look like gutters because of the way the rains fall. So they may be coming, but she wanted to know if that would be approval. And I said, well, because it's not there now, we should have it. What do you think? Were they there before they did the roof? Yeah. And then we're taking off. And they wanted to know roof. It's like somebody spreading the rumor that we forced them to have a metal roof.
is this the one with us, Pleasant?
Yeah, it's a, oh, that's
I
what
know
you,
when you make white.
I forget that you weren't on
White
when
shutters.
Susan was.
Yeah, corner house.
Susan used to be the chair here, but I don't think we were.
No, just trying to touch the house, but that's no way.
Yeah, it's a central,
It's up like with the four chimneys.
it's a New York, it has a
I know.
corner,
I think you
corner
should do
fire.
just to go through the.
Oh,
motions.
sure, has four chimneys or
Yeah,
has.
she's agreeable, but, you know, she
Has four
wants to
chimneys.
be above board with everything. Plus, they're also going to mention that they recently got a quote to repair the windows, to restore all the existing windows. Not from the same people that would use, like the house directly across, that's on the other corner of Sunset and Worthington. I don't know if you noticed that for a while that there was plywood in the
Yes, I did.
windows. That's because they were taken away and to restore.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I've seen,
Yeah.
what is it, one of the home shows.
Yeah, I mean, it
Focus
can
on
be
that.
done.
You can even put insulated glass in so
Yeah,
much. like
that's
that.
what they do.
Wow.
So it's expensive, but I don't know if it's more expensive than all the windows.
Well, a lot of labor.
So Susan may be doing that too, but if you're just restoring windows, then you don't need approval for that.
Was there anything about the gutters that we would object to? I mean, there are different styles, but just,
My only concern is if you don't, you're setting a precedent. So somebody else that may come in and say, you know, they want to do it,
that's,
and you say, no, well, they know that we didn't do it for Susan because we know Susan so well.
I know.
Just do it
oh,
to
right.
practice.
It's kind of like when we had the meeting from hell.
Go down and history forever.
Said, you know, I can see an old ledger board here, so I can build it there. Because there used to be a deck here, because there was just the old ledger board.
It's a
And then onto the wall,
misunderstanding of
you
like
know.
for like, because like for like doesn't mean something that was there 50 years ago and then was removed. That's not like for like, because it's not what's there now.
Right.
So,
But she has established that she can put up gutters like she had.
But she doesn't mind coming.
Yeah.
I mean, she's always been at anything on her house, you know, particularly because she was on the commission. That I'm gonna be above board. So
She get the metal roof.
Huh?
Metal
Because she
roof.
had
She had a metal roof.
Oh, really?
They bought the house from the
Okay,
Heinz.
so
Yeah.
it's not original, obviously.
Yeah, I did.
It could
They
be.
bought the
Yeah.
house from the
Heinz.
Heinzman's family, and they started, Raymond started Raymond Engineering, back when, the aerospace company started it. Anyhow, she used to throw a lot of neighborhood parties, like parties. And I remember going to one of her parties and she was talking about the roof. And she said it was a metal roof, and I said, that's not, that set her off. She got really
Corrected you, huh?
offended because it was originally a tin roof, which can date back to 1790. It was hard covered tin roof.
Thanks for informing.
So that was, I got told at my place, but I quit when I challenged that. So.
That you
that
weren't
did-
invited to any more parties.
Oh, yes, I was. I sat in the corner.
And the other thing that's coming up is, and of course, this is a building that the town owns, this is the meeting house. So the cupola that's on the ground there, that was on probably around 1850, when it was a school, and it's not going back up. But we got some funding to restore it. So most of the work on it is going to be the lead paint removal, replacing some of the corbels with it being milled like exactly how they were, and painting using linseed oil-based paint. And where there's cracking and stuff, like they use a linseed oil paint. But anyhow, we found a guy to do all this who's highly qualified. So I know that doesn't need approval, but the roof on it at some point was changed to asphalt, which is now just kind of moss. And you can see,
That's the entire.
yeah. No, not the meeting house, the cool one.
It's been under that maple tree for probably decades.
Yeah. So anyhow, we have a roofer who's work on it. And I forget the exact amounts he quoted, but they had him quote metal, which is gonna be twice as expensive as cedar shingles. Cedar shingles are very expensive too. So my question is, because it's a town building, a lot of times the town does stuff without going through us.
No, it's not so.
I mean, it's happened often. Like, do we need a COA for that? Does the town need a COA?
We need to get the call.
I mean, I probably have to recuse myself because I'm friends of the meeting house and I've heard these people looking for the town. So, but I'm not going to represent the town.
Well, if it's just out of curiosity, from which our understanding is, I think the bylaws that we have there. Structures, house, or farm, or something like that. What's this qualify as? It's gonna remain on display on a lawn somewhere, probably?
Yeah, well, it's gonna be not where it is there, it'll probably move to the north side of the building on the lawn. We put on a brownstone foundation. Just so
Where I'm
people
going
will
is
be
I'm
at eye
not
level
sure.
And you can look.
And the structure of one.
Is it a structure or a lawn ornament? I'm not even sure it comes under our purview, because it's not a structure. I think you could argue it's constructed. I'm just wondering if that might be a rationale.
But it's kind of the size of the shed. But it's like, yeah. I mean, I can't imagine anybody objecting to it because it's gonna be a big improvement. I just don't wanna do something that people say like, how come the town? didn't help?" Then they don't have to floor the sidewalks and.
I would imagine that it doesn't, but I'll ask Maureen
Is
because
the,
it is town property.
the work on this might be starting like in June.
Yeah.
The town will require a CO, right? Or certificate of approval.
I feel like we would not, but I'll confirm with you.
You can contact.
Yeah, no, I will tomorrow.
I mean, the work, I think the carpenter guy, I think is gonna work on it first,
Mhm.
so we have some time
Yeah,
to decide about the roof.
yeah, I'll ask Maureen tomorrow. She may not be in tomorrow, but as soon as I know, I'll email you. Yeah, but
So
I,
it's easier for the town to get a COA perhaps, but it doesn't necessarily be, it's not required, but.
yeah, I mean, just, I mean, certain permits aren't required for work on town property anyway, so.
Does the town get, when they do things, they don't get building permits, do they? So,
I mean, if the town requires like a variance, for instance, or a special, maybe not a special permit, but there's times in which I'm sure the town can still go to ZBA,
Yeah,
but like you said, there might be certain exceptions, not, or maybe the building permit requirements don't apply.
yeah, and just, yeah, if there's instances, of course, but something like this, even more so, I would imagine it doesn't. I could be wrong, so I'll find out.
I don't think any of us really know, yeah, so it's a good question.
Yeah,
I just remember when they tore up sidewalks and they were supposed to keep this herringbone sidewalk in front of this one house. And they said they were gonna keep it and it was gonna take brick up and like reset it. And then all of a sudden, I wasn't care anymore. He just decided that it's too much maintenance for the town. But they never had a hearing. And they said that they wanted to.
So I don't think this would. It would have to, be under the purview of our commission, would have to form and show it the person. That was not its original purpose.
Where you
Town of Berlin HDC regulations. I think it gets a pass.
Good thing to look at, yeah, very relevant.
Can you read that again?
Sure, let me read the whole paragraph. No building or structure shall be erected or stored, moved, or demolished within the historic district until an application for a certificate of appropriateness as an exterior as to exterior architectural features has been submitted to the commission and approved by said commission. The certificate of appropriateness shall be required whether or not a building permit is required, nothing in these regulations shall include relocation, et cetera, et cetera. And then it goes on to say, as used in the above, erected means constructed, built, or installed. Altered means constructed, large. Building means a combination of premise forming a shelter for persons, animals, or property. Structure means any combination of materials other than the building, which is for the land. Include but not be limited to signs, fences, and walls.
It's already been taken off the roof though for 10 years, right?
Yeah,
It's
I
not
mean, its
part of the-
original purpose is long gone, right? That's clear.
It's really an environmental
Mm.
thing.
It's gonna be for display purposes, not to like protection. I mean, just,
Yeah.
I'm not sure we would gain anything, and if the concern is that, well, somebody might look at that after the fact and say, so what is it, give the town the pass? So there should be a rationale, and I think there is a rationale.
And you're gonna oversee all the work, right? Yeah. Well, you're gonna, you know exactly what you want, what's gonna be out there, so it's not like you go.
I'm not sure that's a.
Go
I
roll on
wasn't
you.
convinced.
I can't imagine anybody complaining about it.
I don't know, where's the- after Don Lee.
Anything else? Richard?
Say 5 words about the tree program.
Yeah.
The way we left it, I spoke in front of a finance committee meeting. A long time ago, I forget what month it was. But, and it was well received, I think. But I think at that point, it was getting late in the budgeting process. And the finance committee, they were looking more for things they could eliminate from the budget instead of things they could add to it, because everything was pretty much cast in stone. So it's certainly been warmed up for
Okay,
a proposal in a timely manner next year.
okay. So then we could bring it up earlier.
Yeah.
For next year's budget.
Had a grant for that, did you have money find a grant for you?
I talked to him about it, there wasn't any. There was a big grant program DEP had, they had millions to throw away. But, it needed to be for projects and economically disadvantaged areas. And I was going through the list of towns that they gave money to, like Fairfield and Farmington, I don't know where to find disadvantaged areas in Fairfield and Farmington. But, I did ask the DEP if we would qualify. Well, the project is, flexible enough that we have a per tree price. Agreeable from the town. Highway department would do the planting and the nurseries that we get the trees from. So the project is pretty easy to scale up or scale down. Talk about it.
I think we talked about too, we capped it first come, first served, right?
Oh, it would be capped, Whether that's 20 trees or that's how we can come up with a price.
Or do you remember, I think it was a couple of years ago, all of a sudden these trees got planted in town? And two or three of them were on the meeting house grounds, and nobody came to us about
You
it.
scared the hell out of the highway department. And you started making a row about why are those trees on our meeting house wall?
No, I was like, why weren't we consulted? Not that we
Because they
objected
thought it
trees.
was their area, it was their was the town property and they had these leftover trees and they put them up, well, let's put them by the meeting house. And it was just done without a great deal of thought.
Well, yeah,
And they've never been the same since. You made quite an impact on it.
well, there was one guy, like, once a car ran into there's like a stone wall at the World War Monument. And I remember when that was damaged, I don't know if I was even aware of it or something. And then I was asking somebody in town, like, because I saw somebody, like, repairing it and everything. And I'm saying, like, what happened here? Like, shouldn't we be consulted? But it turned out he was doing everything well to repair it. And it looks fine. But it just seems like none of these departments think a lot about that there is a commission that oversees all this.
The highway department is very afraid to do anything on Worthington Ridge now. I've got 2 trees in front of my house on the ridge that are just falling apart and branches are falling off into the road, and they're afraid to cut them down because of their bad experiences with Worthington Ridge.
Like, I'm so scary.
I know.
I wonder if they're using that. Their tax is pretty busy.
They have, they have.
No,
requested to take down these
really,
trees
they're
that goes south.
impressively on the side of trees. They love trees. They're really tree people. They have somebody that's,
It's that.
Oh, I
They
don't
are
doubt that. I was
steep
just
to-
yeah,
wondering.
no, I.
Some of that is.
In
Oh,
my
he
conversation,
said
it
about
really
the
impressed me,
stumps. When they
you know,
took
how
down
much
trees.
they were into the tree, and trying to do the right thing.
Well, that's good.
Herb, like, could you, I know the trees that you were discussing seemed like they were quite, maybe like this big or something.
No, they were, we had a 2.5 inch caliper, which would be, depending on the tree, would be way taller than this ceiling.
But couldn't you start with smaller trees? The reason I'm thinking about this is, like, when we moved to our house, we got from Arbor Day Society all these like little stick trees. These trees now, we've had to take some of them down, they've gotten so big.
Mhm.
And I didn't give it a lot of thought where we were planting them.
But
But
when you plant them, they don't look like, they don't impress people enough.
Well, have to be patient.
Yeah, well, that could be done,
Yeah,
but that's not how, when the town does planting in other areas,
Yeah.
or subdivisions and town property, they use bigger trees. From experience, people don't like to see the little. But I would agree that, you plant the smaller trees will catch up to the bigger trees a few years down the road because they have to see them bigger. And they don't suffer as much shock as when you dig up a big tree.
I think that, I'm just remembering that those trees that were planted at the meeting house, I think Maureen or somebody told me that some company in town, the corporation donated them. So maybe we can find out who did that, maybe they could do it again. That's all I. Get a motion to post the, to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
I
All right.
see you Saturday, John.
Yes, absolutely.
Where's your meeting?
I'll tell,
It's down.
I'll tell Robin you're coming.
Okay.
She, not hesitant, but she wonders out loud. Wonder how many
Oh,
people will be
no,
there.
Susie.
Did you go to the last one at
Yes.
the Lions